Hey, what is up guys, it is Chris here from the WWFu Internet. We're here with a WWFu review for you guys. This is going to be the first PWG show I review here on the WWFu Internet Network. But before I start that, I kind of wanted to plug something, WrestleCon. For all you guys on the East Coast that are planning to hit up WrestleMania 29, WrestleCon is something you should definitely check out. All the information, if you want, you could contact me via my Twitter at ChrisWWFu. It's just basically all these indie companies coming together, and it's going to be awesome. You know, they're giving you discounted hotels. I already booked my hotel thanks to them, and, you know, I'm pumped. So just let me know if you guys want any info on that, and let's get to the review. So PWG's Death All But Metal, a pretty anticipated show to say the least, and I say it definitely delivered on the most part. It wasn't the PWG show of the year. DDT4 still has that, but I think the PWG show of the year will occur on Saturday with PWG's 9th anniversary show, or Three Men This 3. It's headlined by a bunch of great matches, and I'm very excited for it. And I have a feeling, you know, these anniversary shows with PWG usually, you know, get in the 9s, so it should be good. But let's get to Death All But Metal. We kicked off the show with B-Boy taking on Famous B. This was basically like a veteran taking on a newbie. You know, Famous B only debuted in PWG a couple of shows ago, and he's definitely made a pretty good impression. And B-Boy came into this match playing somewhat of a heel-type character, but these two worked really well with each other. And you can tell, you know, B-Boy is just, you know, he still has it. And, you know, he's been on the indies for God knows how long. And Famous B, he's definitely one of those guys to look out for. He's a great worker. He can do a lot. You know, he can do some pretty decent just mat work, you know, and then he does those sick moonsaults, and it's just, these two meshed well together, to say the least. And I gave this 3 stars. It was a fun opener, a very good opener to, you know, to start off the show. Next we had TJ Perkins taking on Ryan Taylor. This was really good. I'm a huge TJ Perkins fan. I think TJ Perkins is one of the most talented guys on the indies. Not only can he chain wrestle very well, he also is capable of doing some insane spots, and he's capable of multiple wrestling styles, which is very rare for a lot of pro wrestlers. I mean, every pro wrestler is kind of oriented in one particular style. TJ Perkins, on the other hand, can master most styles. Then we had Ryan Taylor, on the other hand, who did some great chain wrestling here. And, you know, him and TJP had some really good chemistry in this match. I gave it 3 stars. I really enjoyed it for what it was. You know, TJ Perkins is awesome. Ryan Taylor's pretty good himself. And, you know, this is a really good PWG undercard match. It didn't go too long, and overall I really enjoyed it. Next we have the PWG World Championship title match between Kevin Steen and Brian Cage. The reason this match and the tag team title match were so early in the card was Kevin Steen and the Super Smash Brothers actually had to catch a red-eye flight for another commitment, a wrestling show, so they kind of had to get out really quick, so that's why their matches were really early on in the card and not semi and main event. But this match was really good. It was really, this was one of Kevin Steen's, like, pretty just different title defenses, to say the least, because, you know, Kevin Steen usually looks pretty dominant. And this one, Brian Cage, you know, Brian Cage has evolved very quickly, you know. I remember the PWG fans were chanting at him, "Get your shit in," to end the match because he sucked. Now they chant "Get your shit in" as a joke because he's gotten so much better. And, you know, Kevin Steen really played the whole Brian Cage is a machine. You know, Brian Cage looks really good. Kevin Steen kept making fun of that. And Kevin Steen, I have to say, you know, his interaction with PWG fans is like no other, and it's very enjoyable. And it was just, that was a really fun part of the match. But overall, this match was great. These two, strangely enough, had really good chemistry together. They just, you know, Brian Cage is a freaking machine. Kevin Steen, what else is new? Kevin Steen is always going to have good matches. It's just one of those things. Like, get used to it. Especially in PWG. As long as he's PWG World Champ, he's having good matches. And this was probably not his best title defense, but it was definitely a really good one. I gave it 3.5. Brian Cage, someone you should really, really start looking at. You know, he's going to be the future of indie wrestling, I think. And he has that look that WWE creams over, so that might work out too. Next, we have the no disqualification Pro Wrestling Guerrilla World Tag Team Championship title match between the Super Smash Brothers and the Young Bucks. This is a rematch from DDT4's first round, and this match was the vacated PWG World Tag Team titles. This match was match of the night. It was awesome. Started off, Super Smash Brothers just started attacking the Young Bucks, and it just, everything got better and better. We had Stupefied just basically go behind Excalibur and Kevin Steen and just jump over them to land on the Young Bucks. We had the Young Bucks kicking the shit out of everyone, including Rick Knox. We had Stupefied throw Matt Jackson in through a table. We had they went through the crowd. It was just, oh my god, it was brutal. Awesome to watch. Overall, really exciting. 4.5 stars. Match of the night. Potential one of the best PWG matches of the year. I absolutely love this match. I love the Super Smash Brothers, and I really enjoy the Young Bucks. So, you know how I felt about this match. It was just absolutely great. Match of the night. I loved it. You know, the Super Smash Brothers capturing the PWG Tag Team titles definitely just was an awesome moment. You know, we had Kevin Steen marking out on commentary too, which was really cool. And overall, this match was just, it was brutal. Not really brutal, just all the spots were really fun, but it looked like they hurt like hell. I had so much fun with this match. Next, we had a 6-person tag match, the worst match of the night. We had Peter Avalon, Rosas, Joey Ryan taking on Candice, LeRae, and the RockNES Monsters. This Peter Avalon and Rosas and Joey Ryan thing, being sleazebags, is getting really old. Like, you know, trying to like basically rape Candice LeRae in the ring. It's kind of really irritating. But for the most part, this was decent wrestling. I mean, the RockNES Monsters are a pretty good tag team. 2.5. I don't really want to talk about this match because it wasn't worth talking about to begin with. Next, we had a very hyped match between Michael Elgin and Willie Mack, and I'd say it delivered. The only thing that didn't deliver was the time. They, you know, didn't have. I personally feel they didn't have enough time, and that kind of knocked it down for me ratings-wise. I gave it 3.25. These guys just, you know, early on, Michael Elgin looked like he was the dominant guy, but Willie Mack really built his way up and just built his way up and wouldn't take anything. There was a really sudden finish with this match I didn't really like. Just basically Willie Mack just pins Michael Elgin out of nowhere. That didn't really affect my star rating. I felt like it came out of nowhere. But Michael Elgin is a face I really want to see back at PWG. He's just a great worker. Willie Mack, he's going to be PWG champion one day, no doubt in my mind. And these two just, you know, they worked well because they're both very similar body types. They're both, you know, heavy dudes, but they can just kick ass. You know, and it was fun. You know, the crowd was really into it. I gave it 3.25. Really fun. Next, we had the main event of Generico and Ricochet. Now, this match was a really, really good match. I don't know if it topped the last time these two wrestled each other, but, you know, this match definitely had a little more tension to it, you know. Just, you know, the whole breakup, you know, Ricochet betraying Generico. You know, they were a tag team at one point. I still give this 4 stars. You know, these two were very evenly matched. Ricochet should not be able to do some of the moves he does. He is a machine. I love Ricochet. He's one of the most athletic guys I've ever seen in my life. He's capable of spots that I don't think should be physically capable or possible, and he does them. And then we have Generico on the other hand, who's absolutely awesome. I'm a huge Generico mark. I love him to death. I think he's one of the best workers in the independents. And, you know, when you put two of the best together, you're only going to have a great match. I gave this 4 stars. Absolute fun main event. Everyone left home happy. Awesome stuff. Overall, I gave this an 8.25 out of 10. Really recommend watching this show for the most part. It was, you know, the only match I'd say skip was the 6-man tag because, you know, it's kind of weird, to say the least. But, you know, thank you guys for listening. There will be more reviews coming up. And I just wanted to mention this. You guys may have noticed there was a Fave 5 uploaded today and then taken down. There's something wrong with the file. I have to edit. You know, I'm just going to do some stuff. Hopefully I can get that fixed and get that uploaded to you by maybe Thursday, Friday. So yeah, guys, thank you guys for listening, and peace.